Hey everyone, my name is Brody Hasso, and today I'm going to be hosting our show. So today's episode is going to be all about retirement planning. We understand it can be overwhelming, scary, and there's a lot of misconceptions. So that's why we brought one of the experts here at DMI Wealth Management and Insurance Solutions to talk all about it. Jeremy, can you tell us a little about yourself, the company, and your experience?
Absolutely. It's good to see you. How's the West Coast this morning? Everything good?
The weather is nice, real nice.
Awesome. We're doing great in Texas this morning. So DMI is located in Sweetwater, USA, Sweetwater, Texas for the rest of you. So we've been in business for over 25 years, and we are experts in the insurance and the wealth management space. And so we got a team of 8 people working really hard every single day to solve a lot of problems for folks. And we're just trying to have a lot of fun doing that. I literally come to work and I don't even know what to expect every day, but we do try to make a plan and get it done.
I like that. Get it done. And you've been in the business for how long? Is it 25 years?
Yeah, I've been in the business 25 years, been an advisor for that long. And this is one of the most personally rewarding businesses that I've ever been into. And I find it something great every day that I get to do with people.
Well, I have a list of questions here that, we see are the most asked retirement questions when you look online. And, there's a lot of buzz around it, misconceptions, especially with everything going on in the economy right now. And the first question we have is, why is retirement planning important no matter your age or income level?
Man, this first question just blew me away. I know that sounds crazy because I literally answer it every day, but it makes the assumption that it is important, first of all. And so I wanted to back up with that and say, okay, what in life is permanent? And we can kind of go back and forth for just a second on it. But I mean, what do you see that's really permanent in life?
Mm-hmm.
And if we answer that question and we go, there's not a lot of things that are permanent. My body is not a permanent thing. It's not going to be here forever. That's the first thing. So the old adage is the only thing that's permanent is change, or you can also say death and taxes.
Yes.
Those are the 2 things that really get you.
Definitely here on the West Coast, taxes those are permanent.
They are in your face permanent.
Yes.
So if we look at what's permanent and we have to adjust around that, we have to adjust myself around that. I do need to make some choices. And that brings it up and that I guess re-asks the question of why is this thing important? Because I'm temporary and the outcome of my life is a permanent thing.
Yeah.
So I do have to kind of make some choices about wherever I'm at, whether I'm 65 or 25, then I need to be thinking about the end game. I want to think about where I am and where I am going, because life will happen to us, right?
Of course.
It's going to happen. So I kind of also bring up this question of and this is going to be a longer thing, but we're not going to we're not going to have all the time to discuss all the world's problems. But I mean, the thing that gets me is like, who defines you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, do I just get to do what I want, or is there something higher that's calling me into service of something else?
Mm-hmm.
And when I kind of think about it from the point of view of like, I may not be my own boss. I may be called to do something else for someone else for the benefit of others. Then I probably need to plan for that.
Yeah.
So if it's just me, okay, does it matter as much? I think it does. But what if I have a spouse? What if I have children?
Mm-hmm.
How do I want them to grow? And what do I want them to learn? And so much of life is caught, not taught. I love that adage, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like I could sit down and teach you all the things that are important in life, but but it's probably what I do and say and the attitudes that I carry around in the house that are going to be caught, and they're going to learn more from that than they will if I just put it all on a whiteboard and laid it all out for them, So
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is a question of like, what is permanent and what is temporary, and how do I make a choice around that? And I think there's 100 ways to answer that question, but that's my answer this morning.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense. Once you get to that stage when you're retired, you want to have all of that process, kind of planned out already, so you're not having to bear that weight of what am I going to do now that I'm at this age, and it kind of sneaks up on you. Right. So, yeah. What are some of the biggest myths or misconceptions that you hear coming into the office? Like maybe someone's coming in for a meeting and they're like, I heard from Joe Schmo down the street that this is what y'all do over here, or this is how retirement planning goes. What are some things that you're hearing?
Joe Schmo needs to shut his mouth. He talks a lot.
He does. We have a lot of Joe Schmos.
So, I hear this a lot. People come in, I literally every day, and we just have a lot of these same conversations. So this is really kind of fun space for me. And maybe I answer it differently depending on who I'm talking to. But here's a typical couple of things I get. It's too hard. That's one of the first things I get. It's like, I'm completely confused, and this seems harder than my brain can process. And my first answer to that is like, it's not. We're going to step through things, and we're going to keep things simple. And we have multiplied complexity on planet Earth. Yeah, now, I think it was already there for a long time. We're just documenting the complex systems and things that make up our planet. And it blows my mind. I am so blown away. Hey, what's in the news a lot? Artificial intelligence. This is epic. It's world-changing stuff. It's also incredibly, incredibly complex. And, the goal of it is try to make life simple. Okay. Yeah. But it gets 100%. Really complex first. The other piece that I hear a lot is a little bit more of an attitude, and this speaks to the heart as much to the head. And it's a hopelessness. So I hear it's too hard. It's too hopeless. And I really have to take that in and say, okay, I hear you. I understand where you're coming from, and that's okay. But the reality is it's not completely hopeless. And we might want to ask some other questions that gets us to a place. And we might hit that in another question too. I'm going to ask some questions backwards to you. Yeah. But the other space that I do here, and this speaks so loudly, no matter what age you are, it is aloneness. I am all by myself. Yeah. And you think about how crazy that is. 2 years ago, we just passed, I think it was 8 billion people on the planet. Somebody check my facts in the comments. But 8 billion people, we're anything but alone, right? Yeah. There's a ton of people. But am I with the people that are holding me up? Because I don't care who you are, you're not going to do life by yourself. The other thing too, if there's a fourth thing, it might be that I'm looking for something to save me. And what I hear a lot, or I get a lot, is the government will save me. And I have some bad news. I have some bad news about that. We don't want to pin all the bad news on the government, but let me really throw this out there. The government is us. It's we, the people. You know what? You're still not by yourself. You're still not alone, because the government, the system that's behind the retirement system, and that we call it Social Security, right? So that system is made up of people paying in and some people taking out. It's all people all the time, no matter where we look. And if we really take responsibility for that thought, so grab that idea that that the government's government, like a separate thing, is not just going to save me. This government is me. It's you. We're all in it together, and we all have to do something to make it work.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go political, right? And we can just go into it. But we're not going to go there today.
This is the start of your presidency campaign right here. You're running for president.
Absolutely not. My wife would kill me if I ran for president, and also it wouldn't win. So, but that's where I would go. It's too hard. It's too hopeless. I'm alone, or the government will save me. Those are really some four things that I kind of hear. Honestly, in West Texas, I hear that a lot less. It's a very much like, oh no, we're not going to count on the government for nothing.
We're working. That Texas strong.
We're doing this. It is.
Something that you touched on, the alone part, that I do want to brag on DMI, that I think that is one of the most important parts of DMI as a whole. Is a lot of the customers, they get that camaraderie, that community from the team itself, because you'll have a lot of customers that just walk through the door and, just want to talk. And y'all have people there at the door ready with open arms. Hey, how you doing? Well, welcome with a nice face. So I think that's definitely something that y'all bring to the table of, hey, we're not just somebody that is behind the numbers. We're in your community. We're working alongside you. We're truly into this together. So, just a little bragging point there for DMI.
It's not bragging if it's true. I mean, I see it on the ground every day in the offices, and it honestly warms my heart, makes me want to come to work. We have just a quick sidebar on that. We have one person. Her name is Colleen Miller. I brag on her a lot. She is my CFO, but it's Chief Fun Officer. So when you come in, you're going to see the CFO right there, and she brings it. I mean, every day.
That's awesome. Well, let's move on to this next question. So let's say somebody already took the step to get in contact with DMI, and they're sitting in the office, and let's pull back the curtain just a little bit. If somebody's starting to think, okay, I need to plan for retirement, no matter the age, what is the first thing that you take them on this journey? Is it, let's set up a budget? Is it, let's understand the finances? What is a little bit of the secret sauce that makes DMI working with Jeremy so special?
I think we're going to, I love this business and I love the technicals. I am such a nerd. I get into it. But I'm probably going to hit you with some harder questions than your budget. We're going to talk about some things. And again, I may not ask this question directly, but this is what I'm thinking. When you come and talk to me, I want to know three things. And here they are. I want to know who you are. I want to know where you are. And I want to know what you want. And if we can really draw that out, and yes, there's going to be a budget. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate to do a budget. But we have so much to cover on that. But, if we can sit there and answer those questions about who you are, and let's just pick on that for a second, because honestly, I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Michael Harbour. A few years ago, he asked me that question, who are you? And it floored me. It dropped me. I was like, I don't even know how to answer, because my name is Jeremy Dodd. I'm a CFP. I, run this business. I love what I do. I'm married. I can answer a lot of these demographic questions, but okay, how high does that question go, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it punches through the roof. It punches through the sky. I mean, I've got this view again of temporary and permanent. Okay, I know I'm temporary. I got that. But on the long-term sense, I believe I was created. I was knit together in my mother's womb. That's a Bible thing right there. We're going to pull right in. But I believe that is true of all people. And so, first of all, I'm going to answer the question of who I am by saying we're all equal. Who makes me equal? That's a God question, because he treats us all as though we are the same level. And we're not the same person. We're very different. Good, thank goodness. Don't want a bunch of me's running around, but we are unique but also the same level. I'm not higher than you. You are not higher than somebody else. We may work and we may have positions and responsibilities that place us in unique positions in life. Okay, cool. That's great. That does not mean I'm better. When I asked that question. So the next question, I'll pull on it, and man, you could go for, there's books on the who are you question, I think. The next thing is where are you? And this again has multiple levels. And I think of things through three lenses or three gauges sometimes. It is the physical, it is the spiritual, and then it's also going to be the emotional side of things. How are you balanced out in three different areas? So where am I as a person? And I'll just quickly answer that just as an example, but like, let's take the physical things that I'm on. I have a scale and I weigh myself, so I kind of know where I am on a physical level. And like some people are like, no, I didn't want that scale. Don't talk to me about scales. And that's okay. But I believe that I'm supposed to maintain this temporary, tent that I live in a certain way. And for me, that means I do stupid stuff. Like I go running long distance. I know you go running long distance. We know that. But that also enables me to eat more, which I do love. And it's going to, those choices kind of feed each other, if you will. But I'm going to try to maintain myself spiritually too. And I've made choices about where I spend my time. And I think that really shapes me a lot. Then it's the environment of people that I'm around. I am around people that lift me up. My team, when I come in, I'm in the office this morning. I'm in the office on a Saturday. What's wrong with this? I'm here for you.
When you're the owner, there's no days off. You're in 7 days a week. There's no days off.
I wouldn't have it any other way. So, when we look at this and go, who am I surrounded by? We went through a visioning process, yesterday, and that you've helped so much with that in helping to shape and create that. But the management team here has been really focused on making this environment better. And so again, it's like, where are we? Well, we're in an environment that focuses on relationships. We focus on being experts at what we do, and we want to deliver solutions to people. And I tell people, I'm like, there's a lot of technical stuff, but we're in an environment in a business that really we only deliver one thing. We're like, a team was like, what are you talking about? One thing? We do 100 things here. I'm like, I know, those are the technicals, but the reality is the only thing we really deliver is trust.
Yeah.
If I look at trust like a piece of glass, a glass window. And if I was to hold up that window, and if I break that window, I cannot unbreak a glass pane. So I carry that very carefully. Number one, we don't share stuff, So we're in an environment of trust and relationship and being experts. And that's really, really important. The last question is, what do you want? Man, I always feel like that has a selfish ring to it, but you kind of got to answer it with you first. And what do I want? Well, I want to maintain my physical self. Okay, that's fantastic, because that avoids a whole lot of money problems, right? Because we're the thing that makes all the money, but we're also the thing that costs a lot of money too.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a choice and sometimes it's not. And so I'd rather avoid those things. And we can talk in another time about, the health journey that my wife and I have been on. She is amazing, but, she's on a long-term cancer journey. It's
Mhm.
Just, it's again, we'll get into that other space because they're just going to take too long. So who are you? Where are you? And what do you want? Again, I want that physical stability as much as I can, as my body gives it. I do want to be spiritually stable, and I want to create an environment with great people around me that hopefully I can influence for good.
Yeah.
And they can influence me for the good. And we can talk about what good is, but we kind of just assume we sort of know what that means.
I love that. And, it kind of ties in to, it's not just about the money. The money allows us to have the tools to be able to live the lifestyle that we want, or be able to give as much as we want. But at the end of the day, we can't solely focus on that if we don't have the goals and the direction that we need to go to. I think we see that a lot in the world today. Some people have all the money that some people can only dream about, and they have no true direction. So, that money is not used in the proper way. They don't have those good people around them. So, I think that's really important. That's that secret sauce. You got to know, what is this for? Who I am, and what is the end goal here?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Well, what's one mistake that you see people make when they're planning for retirement? Say if they're not going with the planner, they're using ChatGPT as their advisor. What's one that they could easily avoid, but maybe somebody's leading them down the wrong path there.
Well, I think this is another thing where it's like a relationship with an advisory team or somebody else is too hard. That's the assumption that if I go in and do this in my pajamas on ChatGPT, I mean, it's going to give you some great information, but who's going to keep you accountable to it? Is ChatGPT going to do anything? Absolutely not. I mean,
not yet. Hey, you don't know. They might bring some robots. They're knocking on your door, making sure that you're saving your money.
Maybe we look at your books, Yes. Oh, no. Then the answer is going to be, well, you already know everything. Man, that's a whole, oh man. I'm going to pick on I'm going to trigger somebody with their fears of AI right there. Okay, the robots are not coming yet. But, I think at the end of the game right there, this is a people business. And, our money is relentlessly personal. It is relentlessly about you. It's about, again, those who you are, where you are, what do you want, and the people that you're trying to work for, or your family, the others around there that you're trying to make an impact on. So I'm talking as though you are taking intention and initiative in life. So that's something that I do want to lay out there. But I think that big mistake right there is to assume that again, it's too hard to have a relationship with an advisor. And I've had so many people sit in my chair and go, man, I'm scared about this interview. I'm like, hey, don't worry. I'm going to make this real easy and fast and fun. And once they see things laid out in a simple process, they get on board. I mean, I've had a guy in here this week that he has crossed over, or he's graduated into retirement. He is loving it, him and his wife. But, he and I had never had this really deep conversation about, where everything is at. In fact, he came back in a couple of days later. I told you that I had all this stuff on this board. It's literally on the board over there still from the other day. But I forgot. My wife reminded me that she's got these old 401ks at two other companies that are just hanging around doing goodness knows what. And so I said, hey, no problem. We're gonna get this in, put it in your picture, and really simplify things. Because again, that may be one of the other mistakes or the assumptions is that it's not only too hard, but it's too complex, and it just doesn't have to be. I hope that maybe in a future talk we can get one of my favorite people that I've met over the past 5 years from Peavine Capital, Ken Lambert, who's a certified financial analyst. These guys that are CFAs, I think they are so smart. and some of them really are. But Ken is one that resists complexity and is relentlessly simple. And I think our listeners would really get into that. So again, it's too hard, it's too complex. It doesn't need to it doesn't need to be that hard. We can make it simple,
Yeah. And, and I'll say that even though I'm not, working in the space every day, just the people that are my age that I'm, in communication with, my friends or people that, friends of friends, it's always, I don't even think I have enough money that they would even want to work with me. Like, some of these big advisors, they put a limit on how much money you have to put in, especially in today's economy for young professionals. We may not have that, 20,000, 50,000 to get an advisor at some of these bigger firms, so I think that's where some of the misconception for the young professionals is we don't even have enough money to get started when, that might be the best time to get started. Even if you have $100 a month, $50 a month, could you attest to maybe that, like, that's the truth of starting small even when you're younger?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we have, as a practice, we wanted to build something a little different than most people. So we, like I mentioned in the beginning, we do insurance and investment work at the same place, because I think, as certified financial planners in the practice here, we're actually dealing with risk, and the risks there's a bunch of them, right? But if we can deal with risk overall and say, okay, you might not be a great profile client at, insert, some big firm down the street, but you could be a great client here because we can help you with a lot of different things. But we can help a lot of people by saying, what are those risks? And because we're independent, nobody tells us what to do.
Well, and I think that's, another one of, DMI's secret sauce is, you're kind of like, a big education platform for your clients, especially the younger ones. Because, at the end of the day, if they're learning about financial literacy, they understand the bits and pieces as they grow, and they do earn more income. They're smart with their income because they have had this education, and you're by their side. That's what kind of allows DMI to have this legacy of we're continuing to serve our clients. We're not trying to just serve our pocketbooks. We're serving the community that we live in, and I think that shows a lot to the character of DMI and where y'all can have this legacy that y'all have had for 25 years.
Absolutely. Oh man, that is exactly right. And it's what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's motivational for me. And I'm probably crazy because, again, this guy runs a lot just so he can eat. Well, that's crazy.
I'll start to wrap us up here and just have one last question. Say if somebody's watching this video, wherever they are in their walk of life, they could have enough that they're ready to put into a retirement account, ready to retire, or they're just getting started. What is, one step that they can do today or this week that will benefit their retirement plan? What should that one step be?
I think this is one I want to answer a little bit. This is so unexpected in the way I'm probably going to answer that, but I'm going to put out a verse out there out of the book of James. It's in the New Testament and this is out of the Message, and this has been hitting me for 2 weeks straight, and it will not let go of me. But it says this, and it's so crazy. It just says, consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. I mean, who is not being tested and challenged today? But here's the rest of the verse. It says, that under pressure, when you got that pressure on you, your faith life is forced up into the open, and it shows its true colors. And then the last part of that is, so don't try to get out of anything before it's time. Let it do its work so you become mature, well-developed, and not deficient. And I was like, something that you say to me a lot is, let it cook. Let me cook. And I love cooking because, I don't get to do it enough, but I wish I was better at it. But, when you cook, you're taking something that was raw and probably pretty nasty unless you're an animal. And then you're putting flavor into it. You're putting a heat into it, and it produces something that everybody gets to share and everybody gets to thrive from. So I guess if there's something simple we can take away from this week is let's change the attitude about pressure. It's good. Take it on. Do more. And then you can prepare yourself to have those bigger conversations that may be too hard, or maybe you feel too small, or maybe it seems too complex. Maybe I'm too alone. We can address all that stuff, but you got to connect first with the attitude towards the pressures of life. What can we do with that?
Yeah, we're going to get this done, like face it head on. Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you to the DMI team. If somebody wanted to get in contact with you, is it DMI.solutions?
Yes. DMI.solutions. Don't put a .com on it. I get that so many times. There's no .com, no .net.
Everybody watching, DMI.solutions. Set up a meeting with Jeremy. Call the team. Even if you want to just say hello, they'll answer. They'll say, how you doing? Thank you, everybody, for watching. Be ready for next week. Is it next week, or are we setting up another time?
Yeah. Let's do this. Okay. This is great. I like this.
Set up another time with some more people. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank everybody for watching. Have a great day.